In a tiny, weathered house, nestled deep in the woods, lived an old woman named Alara. Her home, built by her late husband, was her entire world. The roof sagged, the paint was peeling, but every creak of the floorboards was a memory, every crack in the window a story. For years, the world outside had been changing, but Alara refused to leave. Developers offered her fortunes for the land, but she'd just smile and point to the towering oak tree in her yard. "My husband planted that the day our son was born," she'd say. "You can't put a price on that." Her only companion was a scruffy, three-legged dog named Broody. He was her shadow, her confidant, her furry little guardian. One autumn, the rains came harder than ever before. The nearby river, usually a gentle stream, began to swell into a raging torrent. Neighbors evacuated, pleading with Alara to come with them. She just shook her head, clutching a faded photograph. "I'm not leaving him," she whispered, looking at her husband's smiling face. The water began to seep under the door, then rise up the legs of her cherished furniture. Alara sat on her kitchen table, holding Broody close as the floodwaters climbed higher and higher. She was terrified, but her resolve was firm. This was her home and she would stay. The water was now waist-deep. The old wooden house groaned under the pressure, threatening to collapse. Suddenly, Broody, who had been whimpering by her side, did something extraordinary. He wriggled from her arms, took a deep breath, and dove into the murky water. Alara's heart stopped. "Broody!" she screamed, her voice choked with panic. She watched in horror as he swam towards the front door. He clawed at the wood, barking frantically, then turned back and looked at her, his eyes filled with a desperate plea. He swam to her, nudged her hand, and then swam back to the door. It was then she understood. He wasn't just panicking. He was showing her the way out. He was choosing life for both of them. If you want to know what happened next, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. You won't want to miss how this ends. With tears streaming down her face, Alara slid off the table into the cold, dark water. She followed Broody to the door, and together they pushed it open against the current. Just as they slipped outside, the house behind them let out a final, heartbreaking groan and collapsed into the flood. They were swept away by the current, but Alara held on to Broody for dear life. After what felt like an eternity, they were pulled from the water by a rescue boat. Safe, shivering, but together. Her home was gone, but as she looked at Broody, she realized her home was never just a building. It was the love she held within it. He hadn't just saved her life. He had shown her that new beginnings are possible, even when you think everything is lost. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment to honor loyal hearts like Broody's. Thanks for watching.